The world rhino population is reported to have fallen by more than 90% in the past 30 years. Today, only 5 species remain, and all of them are threatened in some way. This year alone, South Africa has lost more than 400 rhinos to poaching, while a total of 129 people have been arrested. Jay Kabos joins us now for more insight. Jay, thanks so much for joining us. Let's take a look at the status of things, because it seems that we're still looking at a very worrying trend. We're only halfway through this year and already 400 rhinos have been killed.
Absolutely, and if you look at the numbers from last year, there were about 628 rhinos that were killed in the period. So the trend is definitely extending and growing up.
It then brings into question the kind of systems we have in place to mitigate against this risk and just how effective they are in the first place.
Absolutely. I think at the moment what's happening is a lot of people are having to form up different strategies in order to combat anti-poaching, or combat poaching.
Mm-hmm.
Poaching itself is getting far more advanced than it used to a couple of years ago. It's becoming almost organized crime, in which anti-poachers are having to build and adapt. They're having to militarize, they're having to, form strategies of protecting. And at the moment, everyone's experimenting with different strategies to combat this.
It amazes me the speed at which this operation actually happens. I mean, some of the facts that you've highlighted, it takes an hour to get a rhino horn out of the game farm and onto a main road. Within 5 hours, a horn can be over the border and on a plane. I mean, that is startling.
Absolutely. The people I've been talking to have said that the days of tracking a rhino poacher have gone out the window. Now you have to catch them before they do something in order to prevent it.
Yeah. Looking at some of the other mechanisms being used, I mean, we've had a rhino horn being injected with poisons as well. Not poisons, well, it's called a poison.
Yes, it is a poison, yes. They inject it with a pink dye,
yeah,
which is one of the methods they're hoping will make someone severely sick after consuming it. So it's a method of combating after the rhino horn has been taken off. Other forms of methods of preventing have moved on from infrared or night vision photography,
mm-hmm.
Like CCTV cameras, as well as you get drones and all sorts of different methods, as well as foot patrols, security vehicles for patrolling game fences. And when you're looking at the sorts of areas that these guys have to cover, it's amazing.
It is certainly. I mean, why the reason for Forbes to focus on this? I mean, we've got the title of the article on screen there, the Rhino Crusaders who fight by moonlight. Why the decision to focus on this?
Well, what we wanted to investigate was the more business side of it. It costs 20,000 Rand to man a two-man unit, just one two-man unit, and it's the sort of thing that's escalating all the time. And with more militarization coming into the play, it's becoming a big business to have to, fund almost this protection of an animal species. And there's a lot of dynamics that are going on behind the scenes, poverty versus people who are living on the farms themselves, people who are forced to hunt rhino because they have nothing else that they can do. And I think it's you'll see a trend a lot of the time with moonlight, which is why the title is.
You talk about the business of fighting or for driving this anti-poaching initiatives. What about the business of what's getting people down this avenue in the first place? I mean, it's still got to be pretty lucrative out there.
Oh yes, well, a lot of the time you'll find that a lot of private reserves actually don't have organized security. They'll have just a security guard standing at the fence, and that's their form of anti-rhino poaching. And you'll find that those are the game farms that get hit a lot more. And so there's definitely a gap in the market for people to help develop and grow the system.